Very good morning, cadets. I hope you are all doing well. I know that it's a season of examinations, so because of examination, your viewership towards YouTube videos, YouTube tutorials is sharply gone down. I'm sure you will resume back to your normalcy once the exam mode is over. Classroom exercise or YouTube tutorials is a part of online learning. So we already started chapter number 6, that is political parties. In the chapter number 6, political parties, we studied about the importance of political parties and what we deal with this chapter that we studied. We also studied about the meaning of political parties. Political party is a group of people who come together to contest election and hold power in the government. They agree on some policies and programs for the society with a view to promote the collective good. Every political party try to persuade why their policies are better than others. They speak to implement these policies by winning popular support through the elections. So what is every political party? Every political party's the prime aim is to contest for election, and not only to contest for election but also to capture power, and by capturing power every political party definitely come with the party agenda or party minimum program, and they try to bring those minimum programs or the party programs as a law when they are elected to the government. So it is very, very important that every political party should have a strong societal base. If the political party lacks the societal base, then definitely such political party may not exist in the election scenario for a longer period. So keeping this view, we studied that a political party must contain 3 major components. What are the components which we studied? A political party must have a leader. Every political party should have active party members. I told you active party members are those people who have taken the membership of the party and who work as the party membership. In most of the political parties, the active members of the party got a right to participate in the election process of electing the party president or other top secretary or joint secretary or other important party officials within the party. Apart from that, every party should have very good number of followers. Followers are those people who are the citizens of the country or the voters of the country who follow the party because they were attracted towards the party because of the party ideology. So followers are those who actually participate during the election process. That also we studied, and we have seen few pics related to the election propaganda which was during the election. And we studied the series of functions of political party. Every political party major function is to contest election, and every political party try to put their candidate who generally called winning horse. So the person who got a very strong base is selected by the party as a candidate for to contest elections. So once the party into the government, then party try to implement policies and programs. Law making function we studied in Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha, in Vidhan Parishad or Vidhan Sabha. MP, MLAs, they actually participate in the law making process. So law making process is generally done in parliament. So every political party actively participate in the law making process. They ask question, they try to stop the government from implementation of any policies of that particular political party. So every political party members actively take part in the lawmaking function that we studied. The ultimate dream of every political party is to form and run the government. How to form the government? It is very told in a simple way in the Constitution of India. During the general election, a political party which could win the 50% plus 1, that is 272 seats in Lok Sabha, that party will naturally can claim for forming the government. Because if a party, when a party wins the majority of more than 272 seats, then party can claim to form the government. Once the party is allowed by the President of India to form the government, party definitely comes with the ministers, prime minister, cabinet minister, deputy ministers, ministers of state. So all these ministers, cabinet ministers, deputy minister, prime minister, all of they are actually involved in running the government. We also studied that in a democratic setup, what makes very important is not only the ruling party, the role of opposition party also matters a lot. Opposition party is considered as a very, very careful watchdog of ruling party. Means the opposition party tries to bring out flaw or the weakness or the problems of ruling party, and they criticize ruling party for the failure. So always opposition party plays a greater role in organizing people against the failure of the government. So the role of opposition is very, very important in a democratic setup. We also studied about the shaping of public opinion. It is called shaping of public opinion. Public opinion is nothing but opinion of the people is called public opinion. For example, we may not know anything about uniform civil code. I am speaking about common man. Whenever news channels or newspaper or social networking like Facebook, WhatsApp, they continuously discuss about the uniform civil code, the different party leaders come and express their opinion. So naturally, even a common man can understand what is called common uniform civil code. So continuously by these kind of news channels, media, social networking channels, the political parties shape the public opinion. This we studied in detail. And every political party definitely involved in welfare measures. You have seen welfare measures meaning whenever there is a natural calamity or any disaster or any other problem, generally the top party leaders will reach to that particular place. So that is a part of their activity of a political party. You have seen here a dharna is going by the Mahila Morcha against the increase or the hike in the LPG prices. So these are all we discussed in detail. Most of the time we may conclude that every political party is corrupt. When every political party is corrupt or party leaders are corrupt, then why do we need a political party? So such question may arise in the mind of a common man. But definitely in a country like India or those countries which follow the representative democracy. What do you mean by representative democracy? A democracy run by the representatives of the people. For example, in India, we elect representatives and the elected representatives run the government. That's why we call it as a representative democracy. In a representative democracy or in a democracy which is highly populated like Indian democracy, it's very difficult to function without political parties. So we need political parties. We also studied types of party system, that we studied one party, two party and the multi-party system. One party system example we studied in China, two party England, multi-party India, France and other countries. in a country exists only one party, that system is called as one party system. Example is China. What is the problem in one party system? There is no opposition, so that's the reason why the ruling party definitely leads to the dictatorship. Out of the party systems, that is one party, two party and multi-party system, the two party system is considered as the best or suitable for the democracy. Why? Because one will be the strong ruling party, at the same time definitely there will be presence of strong opposition party also. So when there is a strong opposition party, ruling party will be always cautious about their work. So a strong opposition definitely leads to a better administration by the ruling party. So opposition party should be strong as well as constructive opposition. What is it called? Constructive opposition means party should oppose the policies, not the persons. So once the party oppose the policies or the wrong policy, definitely that lead to constructive opposition or constructive criticism. We studied a multi-party system, existence of more than two parties in a country. Of course, India is an example for a multi-party system. But problem in India is that we have more than 700 parties. So naturally, this is very huge, because having more than 600 to 700 political parties, it is not good, because it leads to choice to the people, or the choice will be heavy. So naturally, from last 30 years, no single party could win the required majority. As a result, we are seeing coalition form of government. So we studied all these things in detail in the last classes. I am just quickly going through all these things, because I know very well that once the exam mode is over, definitely sit back and study the video tutorials which I sent in YouTube. Based on the percentage and based on the seats, we divide the parties into national parties and regional parties. Political parties divided as national parties and regional parties based on their presence in the country. National parties, that party which secures at least 6% of total votes in Lok Sabha elections or in assembly elections in 4 states and wins at least 4 seats in Lok Sabha as recognized as national party. 6% votes or at least 4 MPs. What is a regional party? Regional party which secures at least 6% of total votes in the elections to the legislative assembly of a state and wins at least 2 seats in recognized as state party. So at least 2 MLAs. Okay. So we have gone through the Bharatiya Janata Party. Bharatiya Janata Party is definitely a national party which is ruling country from the UPA 1, NDA 1 and NDA 2. We studied about what are the major agenda of Bharatiya Janata Party. Then we studied in detail about Indian National Congress. So Indian National Congress, we studied detail about Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress is the leading party since independence, and Indian National Congress definitely one of the strong opposition party at present in the government. At present, Indian National Congress seen with the group called UPA, that is United Progressive Alliance, whereas BJP is seen with the NDA, that is National Democratic Alliance. We studied about this. We also studied about Bahujan Samajwadi Party, that is BSP. BSP started by Kanshi Ram. Kanshi Ram started BSP, that is Bahujan Samajwadi Party. Bahujan Samajwadi Party is very powerful in Uttar Pradesh. Bahujan Samaj Party mainly aims in protecting the interest of Dalits and oppressed people and the religious minorities. Now Kumari Mayawati, she is the leader of Bahujan Samajwadi Party. So BSP, its presence is seen in UP, MP, Rajasthan, even in Punjab and other places. UP, BSP ruled Uttar Pradesh for several times. Kumari Mayawati was the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh. She was representing Bahujan Samajwadi Party, that is called BSP. BSP was part of BJP when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister of India. The next party which we studied is the Communist Party of India, CPI. We have two cadres. One is Communist Party of India, CPI, leftist or the Leninist, and another one is Communist Party of India, Marxist. Communist Party of India, CPI, started in 1925. Later it was divided into CPI and CPI-M. Communist Party mainly supports the democratic setup of elections. It supports the downtrodden or the labor class. Communist Party is very strong in Kerala, West Bengal, Punjab, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. We studied about Nationalist Congress Party of Sharad Pawar. Nationalist Congress Party was formed by Sharad Pawar and P.S. Sangma. The main aim of Nationalist Congress Party is high offices in Government of India be confined to the natural born citizens of the country, like President, Vice President and Prime Minister of India should be conferred only to the natural born citizens of India, not to the acquired citizens. So the main aim of Nationalist Congress Party, Sharad Pawar is the leader of Nationalist Congress Party. So all these we studied in the last class. I am quickly going through all these so that you understand in a better manner. Take care. I will meet you in the next session.